Hello, angels. This is Miss Quiet Queen, and welcome back once again. Today, I'd like to talk to everyone about God, Allah, Buddha, Jehovah, Yahweh, Yahshua, whatever name that you choose to call God. And if you're atheist or agnostic, just please bear with me. And I'm going to tell you something. I went through that phase too. Okay, so listen. For many years, growing up and even as a young woman, I've had questions about God. So many questions, and some of you have probably the same questions. Like, um, who exactly is God? Or what is God? Where is God? Is God a man or a woman? Or is God both? Is God of any particular race? Is God of any particular religion or spiritual sect? Is God political? If God was here in front of us face to face, would he pick a particular political party? Also, we would ask questions like, does God hate me or does God really love me? And if God is love, like some say, why does God allow children to be beaten, raped, murdered, kidnapped, and hurt? Why does God allow people to commit heinous crimes on one another? Why does God allow groups of people to blow buildings up or bring airplanes out the sky? Why does God allow groups of secret society to control the masses and little by little program them and take their freedom away? Why does God allow that? You know, why does God allow the devil to reign? I'm not attempting to have all the answers to these questions, but I will give you my school of thought if it's any consolation to you. If it means anything at all, I'm going to try to attempt to answer or give you what I believe to be the answer to some of these questions, and some of them I can't answer, but I realize that these questions are out there. First of all, we can answer very simply and just shut the video down, but I'm going to go ahead and give you the longer version. The first thing I want to say is that God has gave us all free will. We all have free will. Every one of us, everybody under the sound of my voice, good, bad, or indifferent, male, female, it doesn't matter what religion you are or any of that. We all have a free will, which means what? It means we can make the decisions to do what we want in our own life. Because when I believe in my spiritual journey, as I learned about spirituality, I feel like God created, I'm saying himself for the, I'll get into gender later, but I'm just going to say himself because it's just a popular pronoun to use. I feel like God created himself and realized that he wasn't perfect. Now hold on. I know some people are like, oh, Miss Queen, how could you? No, God felt that he's not perfect. We all come from God. And are we perfect? We are aspects of God. Okay? God is the all, the creator that created everything under the sun. Now imagine this great big ball of mass. Just imagine, okay, I'm trying to explain something. So just imagine that right now, even if you have to close your eyes. Now from this great big ball of energy are millions and millions, billions of cords or strings of light. Can you imagine that coming out from this ball? Every one of them. And some of those have strings of light or chords, whatever you want to call these little strings or streams or whatever, coming from this ball. Each one of those strands of light or energy represents us as human beings. Anybody, all of us. Squash the color. Just pretend like we don't have a race right now. Okay? Or a gender. All of those chords, that's coming from that big ball of energy is us. We're imperfect. God wanted to experience all there is to experience. God realized that there was a lot to learn. Okay? Life is really, really interesting, and it's so complex, and it's really truly unfair when people try to put religion on another person, and you put God in a box, like God is this way and that's that. God gave us his only begotten son, Jesus, and that's that. Yeah, I truly believe in Jesus, but I believe in other things, Now let's get back to some more of the questions. I'm bouncing around because when I decided to do this video, I didn't have a script or anything. It was just a subject that I had been thinking about for a few days, and I just felt it in my heart to do this video. So I'm gonna be bouncing around, and I do apologize. So if I forget to mention something, just leave me a friendly message down below, and maybe I'll try to answer it then. But let's talk about some of the other questions. Maybe we'll get back to this subject. The other questions that people have about God. Like I said before, the reason why God allows stuff to happen is because we have free will. And another reason why things happen to us or to the world is because before we incarnated here on this earth, we went before a council, so to speak, before to create our cosmic signature, which means we were given choices. And I can honestly remember, y'all, I'm telling you, I can remember this particular time before I came here. You're given a choice. You want to do this, this, or this. You get to choose. Choices were given to you. You choose which one. Okay? I believe, this is my personal belief, I'm not saying this is written in stone, but I believe that God wants to experience certain things. So certain souls, certain part of we're all part of God. We're all soul. We're all one. So he would take pieces of himself and say, I think this part of me should go learn what it's like to be a physically and mentally challenged child. Or I think this part of me should know what it feels like to be an abusive man. See what that's like. And this part of me, I think I could probably make this part of me become the president of the United States. And different things like that. So when you go before the council, before you incarnate here in this world, in this realm, you're given choices, and you choose what you want to do. So if there's a child, and it pains me to say this, but if there is a child that is thrown out the window, God, I hate the thought of that, but it has happened. That soul chose to come here and experience life as a baby being hurt like that. So that's one part, as of about God and why things happen to us. Another thing that we need to remember as to why things happen the way they do is because, y'all, we make the big mistake in thinking that this is God's world. Yeah, I said it. This physical plane, this third dimension, this is the devil's world. And for so long, people say, you know, you know, when you die, you go to hell or you go to heaven. Absolutely no. We're in hell right now. We're in hell right now as I speak. And who has dominion over hell? The devil does. Demons, devils, whatever. And when I say devil or devils, I am not talking about a race of people. I'm not. I know there's certain religious sects, especially in the Nation of Islam, they like to call, uh, people devils, a race of people. Now, I was in that religion. I'm going to talk about this real briefly. I was in that religion for many years, and I found a lot of things in it that strengthened me. They taught you how to do for self and love yourself, and and I needed that, and I think if I hadn't been in it at the age that I was in it, I started studying Islam at age 15. I studied all kinds of religion before the age of 15. But if I hadn't been in it, I probably would have, you know, suffered a worse fate. But even though I learned a lot of things that were positive, there were some things about it that was so disturbing to me. But I kept it to myself and I dealt with it and I remained faithful to that religion. And I felt after a while I was rolling with the punches and I just couldn't take it anymore. I just felt like it was just too many people allowed to be hypocrites. I'm not claiming to be perfect, and I wasn't perfect. I didn't do everything perfect while I was in it. I didn't, but I'm woman enough to say it. I think I'm more of an MGT now than I was then because I'm a lot more honest with myself. You know, they told the women don't wear makeup, but Minister Farrakhan's daughters and wives they were allowed to wear makeup. Why were they allowed to and we couldn't? You know, are they any better than me because those are the ministers? That's the minister's family? No, but they were allowed to do that. Brothers were told don't hit your wives, don't put your hands on your wife. But when I go to the mosque, I look at some of the sisters, they have black eyes. You know, protect your women, protect your children. But there was a sister there whose children were kidnapped, and the brothers didn't do anything. You know, don't fornicate. You know, and I can understand that. Don't fornicate. Do not have sex with anyone that is not your spouse. If you do, you get pulled to the front and you get kicked out of the mosque for a certain amount of time, depending on the severity of the offense. Well, sisters will get put out, but the brothers wouldn't. And I don't want nobody telling me that, no, that's not true, that's not true. I know. I was an officer in that religion, so I know. I don't want to get all into it. I'm going too fast right now, but I just wanted to touch base on a lot of different things about God and things about religion, and getting caught up in organized religion. It's just not worth it to me anymore. And even when I went to the church, I would ask questions, and immediately they would tell me or pull my coattails, say, you need to stop asking questions. You just don't question. That's just how it is. You don't question God. You just go with it. You don't have to understand it. Just believe in it. And I'm like, I can't believe in something that I don't understand. That's just like signing a contract without reading it. What the hell? You for real? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm going to ask questions. And if I don't understand, I'm not going to be involved. That's just like these secret societies and all these letters that I'm getting. We know a lot about you and you should join our ranks. No, I don't know enough about you. You need to let me know more, just as much about you as you know about me. Organized religion, in my opinion, with all due respect, is a waste of time because man is making these rules. God gives us free will. Let me remind you of that. Free will. You know what free will is? The will to do what you want as a free spirited individual. But when you get in organized religion, they take this free will away from you. Like you gotta wear your hair covered, can't wear certain clothes, can't eat certain food, can't go to the movies, can't date at a certain age, can't date anybody out your race. What? All these different things that you just cannot do. I mean, if it's harmful to my person or to somebody else, I understand about not doing it. But you couldn't date out your race when I was in the Nation of Islam, but the brothers did. They would always bring in women that were not black and date and marry them. And we were to not say anything, and it was to be okay. But they would say that they're not supposed to do it, and they would do it anyway, and people just accepted it and swept it under the rug. I'm like, no, that's not cool. So, and then there was another time where my husband and I, we were breaking up, and I didn't work. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I needed a place to stay with my children. And then the minister at the time, when he found out that I had to go to a homeless shelter to get on my feet, to get some help, he said to me, he looked me in my face and said, "Sister, that's embarrassing to me. You should have just came to me and asked me for help." Or so I said, "I've asked for help. I told people what was going on. Let y'all know that we was breaking up. That's just embarrassing. You shouldn't, go to a shelter. That's embarrassing to us." So you mean to tell me you're embarrassed because I had to seek help outside of the mosque, and it's embarrassing to you? Not the fact that, "How you doing, sister? How you feeling? I'm sorry you had to go through that. Is there anything I can do? I feel bad for you. I feel bad for your children." No, you're embarrassed for yourself. Get the fuck out of here. And I just said, okay, I'm done. I'm done with organized religion, and not just that religion, but all religions. It's just not my preference. Now, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. You do you, and be happy. If that's what you want to do you, and don't mistake the fact that I'm saying this, that I don't respect the Bible, the truth that's in the Bible, and the truth that is in the Quran, or anything like that. I have studied Christianity, including Baptist, Seventh-day Adventist, Catholic, no, I didn't do that one. What else? I've studied Wicca, Eckankar, Islam, of course, and a few other things. But you know what, y'all? Know what I learned? Out of all of those religions, I like just being me. I've learned and gathered positivity from all of those things that I mentioned, all of those religions. But I don't want to be put in a box. I don't want to, you got to do this, you got to pray 5 times a day. And if you don't come to the mosque, you got to call in and tell us why. I have a mama and a daddy. They're both passed on. God rest their souls. I don't need to be raised again. I didn't like all of that. And I did not like people being called out their names. You don't want anybody to call you the N-word, but yet and still you call a whole race of people devils. That always bothered me, even though I was going with the flow of stuff. I did not like that. That's just wrong. Have some respect for people because you want them to have respect for you. Have the same amount of respect, and you teach, have respect for everyone. The same way you will want them to respect you. That's the golden rule, right? Do unto others as you have them do unto you. But yet still you coming out your mouth saying all these negative things, and you call people crackers, and that's wrong. And it's wrong if somebody uses the N-word or any derogative racial slur. It's wrong. God don't like ugly from nobody. What race is God? That's another question that people will ask. God is all races and he is no race. What gender is God? I personally believe that God has a gender of male and female. When I studied the Ekankar religion, it pissed me off because they said that um, God is it, and that act masters will come in most of the time as men. Most of the time when people are being enlightened, or you want to learn something new or something that's really important, something great in the world, it will always be a man. And I used to ask them why, you know, and they would, my mentor would just shrug her shoulders, I don't know. And I would ask her all kinds of questions, and she would say, you can ask me anything you want. And whenever I asked her, she would say, I don't know. I mean, but you've been in Ekankar for 30 years and you don't know? I think you know, but you just don't want to tell me. And then another time, me and another person, we came in at the same time in Ekankar, and we wanted to buy a book. And she looked at me and she said, no, I'm not going to take your money. I said, why not? She said, you're not ready for that book. What the hell? I know how to read. I can read, so if I know how to read, I should be ready for it. No, you're not ready to learn that. So you mean to tell me in this religion, you can't learn certain things until you think I'm ready? You don't know my heart. You don't know my relationship with God. You don't know my relationship with my higher self or my angels or anything like that. You don't know that. You just met me day before yesterday and you telling me I'm not ready for that book? Then why is it sitting there? Okay, looking interesting to me. Why is it sitting there? I'll just go online and order it since you don't want me to get it here. That really bothered me. That's why I don't like religion. Don't tell me what I can and what I cannot do. If I'm not doing something that's hurting another human being, including myself, then I should be able to do what the hell I want to do. If I want to wear makeup, I'm going to wear it. If I want to wear my hair out, I'm going to wear it. If I want to wear shorts, and I do, I'm going to wear it. I'm not trying to entice anybody. Don't look at me. You don't like it? Don't look. You don't have to like it. You live your life for you. And that's what I want to tell some of you. Some of you people, even those who are in Christianity, you from families who are starch Christians, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking it, because do yourself, do you. But you watching this channel, and you're watching other spiritualists. These like this that I'm saying on my channel piques your interest, but when you go around your family, your Christian friends, you're afraid to really speak up how you feel. You're doing yourself an injustice, and you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life if you don't speak up and speak your mind. That's what I'm doing right now. Some of the people that I've known, like for example in Islam, and some people that I've known in the different churches that I've been to, especially some of my family members, they don't talk to me anymore. There's one brother that we were really good friends. We've known each other for 30 years in the Nation of Islam, and I told him to go to my channel and check it out. He doesn't want to talk to me anymore. His mom, I used to call her my mom and everything, and it was a little hurtful at first. Then I thought, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to be fake or phony for nobody. You don't want to talk to me because my personal beliefs have changed. And that is just so rude to me, because people have the right to believe what they want to believe. You worship the way you want to worship. I don't believe in being an atheist, but I respect atheists because that's your belief. That's your choice. It's your free will. What right do I have to be upset with you and judge you because you are practicing your free will? And then at the same time, me practicing my free will, you getting upset with me because I have decided that I'm going to go another path, the path that I feel like my heart is leading me to, and you ticked off at me and don't want to take my phone calls, and you mad, or I'm a hypocrite now because I don't believe what you believe in? What's wrong with that picture? Every damn thing is wrong with that picture. And for those of you that's still going through things like this, you're living in your parents' house, or you're married or whatever, and you're afraid to speak your mind, shame on you. Because God does not want that for any of us. Practice your own free will. That's why you're here. To learn about what it is that your soul is desiring to learn. How do I find out what my soul wants to learn, Queen? By going into yourself. You need to channel you. You need to go into yourself and learn what it is that you are supposed to learn. But you can't when you're allowing other people to dictate what you do. Making up these rules because that's what they think you should do. No. Let's not do that. Do you and be happy. Now I'm saying, from the title, let's talk about this title I have put up here. God is a gangster. What makes God a gangster? We can hit some of those other questions. Is God a jealous God? Is God a gangster? Does God fight? Does God hate? Is God a hater or a lover? God, in my opinion, ain't no joke. God, as we all know, will whoop that ass. Okay? Everybody think, oh, God is all love. He's all this. He's just so loving and, kind and sweet. Yeah, God is those things. But did not the Bible say, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord? So you don't need to have revenge against your enemy because God got this. That's one of the things in the church that I did appreciate when they said, put it in God's hands. Don't you try to fight the devil or the enemy. Let God do that. But remember, whose world is this we're in? This is Satan's dominion. This is Satan's. All this here, this physical world, this third dimension. This is the devil's. This is not God's world. The last video that I did, video before last, called the Astral Realm, I talked about the different levels of the God worlds, basically. Now, that's one thing about Ekankar. It did really teach thoroughly about the different levels of the God world. Ekankar did really teach about love and loving all people, no matter who or what they are, because when we incarnate over and over and over again, we don't come back as the same type of person all the time. I do believe in I believe I've incarnated thousands of times, and I think maybe 90% of the time I came as a woman. But many of you have been male, female, morphodite, hermaphrodite, we've black, white, Asian, Indian, all kinds of religions. I'm sorry, of races or ethnicities, So that's why we just need to be careful how we treat one another. Because you don't know what when you come back, if you decide to come back, how are you going to come back? I remember my mother telling me before she passed, she said she remembered one of her lives. She was a man. She said she was a white man, and she was an airplane pilot. And she said she was real prejudiced towards black people. Really, but she said, I can remember being so hateful in that life. And she said now she thinks that's why she had a hate towards whites. That's what she said. I probably shouldn't mention that, but that's what she said at that time. She had to get through that. She had to get over that. And she did, because my stepfather, he was white. So, one of my stepfathers, her third husband. So eventually she got over it because it was it's a waste of time. Racism is a waste of time. If you're gonna hate, hate, hate. Don't hate anything else but hate. Okay? Alright, so I'm gonna let you go, and I probably have stepped on a whole lot of toes with this one, but that's okay. You'll be alright. You'll be alright. I'm gonna post up another video. I have so many videos popping off my head. I'm gonna go ahead and do some more. The holidays are coming up, so I want to feed you guys lots of spiritual food because everybody's going to be taking a break in the next several weeks, shopping and enjoying their families over the holidays. I have a lot of cooking to do myself. So, all right. Thank you so much for paying attention, coming to my channel and watching my channel. I appreciate all of you very much. Stay in the light.